Okay, welcome back to 5 Minute Lessons, where we're looking at economic sectors in terms of primary, secondary, and tertiary sectors, and we'll be looking at mixed economies. All right, let's go. So, economic sectors, the first one we're going to be looking at is the primary sector. So, this is where you extract raw materials and natural resources, usually from the ground or in the ocean or the sea. Okay, so some examples are oil rigs, timber, coal, iron ore, or natural gases. The second one is the secondary sector. This is where you manufacture raw materials into finished goods. And we've got some examples: wood into cupboards, crude oil into petrol, flour into bread or cakes. Okay, so it's what you extracted in the primary sector, those raw materials, and we're manufacturing those raw materials into finished goods. So I know the images show the finished goods, but obviously the secondary sector will be making that cake. The secondary sector will be turning that wood or those bits of wood into actual cupboards. Okay, so it's the actual making of the product. All right, the third economic sector is the tertiary sector. This is selling the finished good or providing a service. Okay, so you've made your goods, you've manufactured them, we now need to sell them. Some examples are IKEA, where you can now sell the cupboard, or a cake shop where you can sell the cake, a petrol station where you sell the petrol, or a phone shop. Okay. Now we've got the changing business classifications. Okay, so we've got something called developing economies. This is usually where the primary and secondary sectors take place in. Okay, so it could be farming, growing, producing, or making things. Those products which are then made are then exported, okay, to other countries, and not usually for a high price, okay, and therefore there's low incomes in the country, and usually the workers or people, and the majority of the people in the country live in rural areas, so maybe like the farm areas and villages and things like that. Now we've got a key word here called deindustrialization. This is a decline in the secondary sector in a country, and when the secondary sector declines, there's a move towards the tertiary sector. Okay, and you can see here the developed economies, the tertiary sector. Okay, and usually it's things like banking, insurance, financial services. Manufactured goods are now imported, okay, because they can afford to do that. So they don't grow their own products, they don't manufacture their own products. They now import those from other countries, okay, from the less developed countries. Now we've got something called mixed economies. Mixed economies are economies which are made up of both the private and the public sector. Now, the private sector is owned by individuals, for example, sole traders, partnerships, LTDs, and PLCs. Okay, so LTDs are private limited companies, and PLCs are public limited companies. Now, in the private sector, you've got competition, and because of competition, there's innovation. All right, there's a drive to create something new. And in the private sector, these businesses are usually profit driven. Okay, so the motive behind most of these companies is to make a profit. In the public sector, these are organizations that are owned by the government. So, for example, in the UK, we've got the NHS, okay, the National Health Service. We've got the police force. We've got schools, public schools. We've got public transport. This is all owned by the government. There's no competition, all right. Therefore, it's not as innovative. There's no profit drive. There's no drive to, boost sales or increase profit. Okay. All right, so that's that. Good luck. Remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel, and follow me on Insta and TikTok. Thanks a lot. Take care. Bye.